Hello viewers, welcome to my channel once again. Those are viewing for the very first time, you're welcome. You can subscribe, like and comment if you haven't. And let us start this recap. So now in this video, I'm going to recap this concluded trading week. Let me jump to my journal. So this is the second week of January, and as you can see, I only took one trade, which was a loss. But let me just share each day in detail for purposes of elaboration. Now, the purpose of my recaps are to encourage traders there to learn how to appreciate the concept of trading based on a process and not trading based on trade to trade outcome. That is my genuine intention for uploading these recaps here. And I know in the long term you guys will get to see the bigger picture. So let me just start off immediately. So now this was on Monday, 9th of January 2023. So I traded NASDAQ. So as you can see, we had a buy setup which got invalidated. Why? Because of the buy limit was not triggered. And as you can see on Monday, we didn't have news. So if there's no news, it's a valid trading day. So let me open its folder. So as you can see on that day, we had on H4 we had a micro uptrend, and I was able to get my setup on my M15 time frame. I placed my limit orders, but they didn't get triggered, so I had to invalidate the setup. So as you can see the setup for yourself. So this was the setup which I was able to derive. So as you can see, price was in an uptrend, a micro uptrend. So now the New York Open pushed price up. So I was anticipating a retracement to my buy zone, but our price didn't return. So I had to invalidate the setup. And as you can see, it was invalidated. So the buy limit wasn't triggered. So now let me get to Tuesday, the 10th of January. So I got a setup, right? My very first setup. It was a sale setup. Let me just jump there. So now here we had a downtrend on our H4 time frame, and I was able to get my setup on the M30 time frame. So we had a sell limit, but got triggered. So let me just show you the entry and exit of the setup. Yeah, so now as you can see, we had on our M30 time frame, we had some sort of a downtrend, right? And my entry got triggered at my sell zone, but now at the New York Open moment, you can see what happened. So price basically just went straight for my stop loss. That is why I lost the setup here, the only loss of the week. And as you can see in my private group, you can see I shared it. So this was my entry. This was my entry. Then this was the sell model I was using, and as you can notice, price just went straight for my stop loss. And that is the reason why I closed this trading loss of about 1%. And if I were to recap it, let me jump to the 10th. So now the software I'm using here is called the JForex software. It's a platform that you can use for backtesting efficiently. It's called a JForex. For those who would love to backtest their strategies, I would recommend it highly. Okay, now let me just jump straight to the open there. Okay, so let me play it ahead. Okay, now, so this was before the New York Open. So I placed my entry somewhere there, and the entry actually got triggered before. I had a setup close to that. That was the setup I was looking at, right? A setup. Now, if you notice, my entry was right there, and price went straight for my stop loss. So I lost. That is how I lost the trade. That was my first loss of the week. That was my first loss of the week. And now I was able to get a second setup, but I didn't take it because I have a rule: I can't take more than one trade per day. So we had a second setup that played out, but I didn't really bother taking it. I shared it in the group here. You can see this was the setup, right? This is what I'm seeing, but I won't take it. So this is the second setup I was able to get. And as you can see, it played out, though I didn't take it due to my trading rule of one trade per day, right? So I wasn't able to take that setup there. So it was successful, but not taken due to the one trade per day rule. So I didn't take that setup there. It was trading setup two. Yeah, I didn't take it. As you can see, it was a good setup. Trade not taken because it violates the one trade per day rule. So I didn't take that setup there. And it played out quite as anticipated, though I didn't really take it. So this was a setup where I was one up there, and you can see how it played out. This setup wasn't executed due to my rules. I didn't bother executing it. So let me just recap it quick. So the second setup, when price stopped me out right there. So when price hit my stop loss, I was able to see this. I was able to see this zone right here, right there. And that is a setup I didn't execute due to my rules. So of course, the anticipation was priced to reverse there, right? And as you can see, it moved quite pretty well. It filled the zone, then reversed. But that is it. Okay, now let me jump to Wednesday. So on Wednesday, we still had an invalidated setup. Let me jump there. So on Wednesday, we didn't We didn't have any news, as you can see. Let me jump to the folder. On now Wednesday. Wednesday, that is 11th. Let me see, Wednesday. Yeah, so we had a setup here. And as you can see, we had a bearish bias. I had my sell limit that didn't get triggered. You know, these things happen, once in a while. So I had my perfect setup here in my H1 time frame. So I was anticipating for price, to push up, trigger my zone, then a sell, but it didn't trigger. So I actually leave it at that. Then I tried getting a second setup, still same thing. Nothing really, So now this was the setup. As you can see, I was able to get a buy zone, but price just kept on pushing up. So I had to invalidate this setup here. Some of these things are kind of frustrate you if you're not a disciplined trader. You get frustrated. But as long as you're keeping your rules, these things that shouldn't, bother you. Let me get to Thursday. So Thursday we had another setup that didn't get triggered. That is at the 12th. The 12th. So now here we had, we had a downtrend kind of bias. Let me see the setup. Yeah, so this was the setup. Let me open that. Yeah, so now this was the setup. So we expected price to fill our sell zone, but it didn't. Price just kept on stalling, and we had to invalidate it. Yeah, so that is how that ended. And then finally, so on Friday we had a news. So I don't trade news days. So I think I took that day off. So any red folder day, I don't usually trade that day. So I took that day off. So that was my trading week in summary. Yeah, quite a complicated week. Lots of invalidated setups that could have played out successfully, but that is part of trading. Trading is full of uncertainty. You start your week in trading, you should just embrace uncertainty, right? If you put expectations, that is when you're going to make impulsive decisions that won't really help you. So that was my trading week. One losing trade and lots of missed invalidated setups. So currently I'm in a drawdown of about 2.88, but we still have 2 weeks left, so I'm not really about that at the moment. So let me see the trading report, the details. Yeah, so now as you can see, now in 2 weeks, I'm in a big drawdown. I'm in a drawdown of about 2.88%. That is my current drawdown. But I'll work my way up. So far, we've taken 3 trades in total. But let me just stick to the process. That is the main purpose, sticking to the process. Yeah, so now let me see. Now, for those who have, watched up to this at this moment, thank you for, for watching. And I believe you're learning a few things. These are some of the realities of trading, right? Not every day will be, perfect. Not every week will be perfect, but it's just you keeping your head level-headed and sticking to your routine, your daily routine, and you're trading the rules. That is what matters at the end of the day. And that is the main purpose why I'll be sharing these weekly recaps. Okay, so I haven't been so active on my uh, Facebook page. As it loads, let me just share this mindset quote. So now it says in trading, the hardest thing of all is to learn to love the process. To love the process. So the hardest thing basically is to learn to love the process. If you can't love the process, you're going to end up making impulsive decisions, emotional decisions, revenge trading, and all those toxic things that will will end up disorganizing your psychology. So that's why it says in trading, the hardest thing of all to learn is to love the process instead of being overly focused on the trade by trade outcome. So if your mind is fixed on the trade by trade outcomes, you're going to mess up at some point. Yet that change in approach is critical. So it's a very critical statement. Learn to love the process and don't focus your mind on the trade by trade outcomes. If you can make that mental shift, then trading won't really be so tense for you. Okay, now so this is the Facebook page. Once again, if you haven't passed by this page, you can pass by, follow it, and I'll go through most of my work, right, for purposes of education and maybe motivation. But I think this is it. This is it for this week. Yeah, so next weekend I'll be posting another recap. So we meet again next weekend. Otherwise, enjoy your weekend, and I wish everyone the best. Thank you very much.